All right. Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. John Clauser here from my little musical corner of the world. And I just wanted to come today and I want to talk a little bit about an album that I don't think got enough love, didn't get enough respect. Um, and I can kind of see why. Um, I'm going to talk about, and I apologize for the cover, it's a little on the naughty side. Adrian Smith and Project, Silver and Gold, and my original cassette version of this. I had to find the CD on eBay years ago, but anyway, so Adrian Smith and Project comes along. He was still in Iron Maiden at the time, and they had a little downtime, and so he got some guys that he played with in this little band called Urchin. For any of the Iron Maiden fans, if you watch the Iron Maiden years part one, uh, you see Adrian. There's like a video of Adrian playing a song called "She's a Roller" with Urchin. Unfortunately, not on this album or on this CD. These CDs are pretty easy to come by. The one with "She's a Roller" is very hard to come by, and going to cost you a few bucks. Anyway, Urchin was a very much hard rock, um, blues rock, um, maybe I don't know, maybe a little touch of Bad Company, maybe a little bit of Free, Status Quo, ZZ Top. I don't know, a lot of different blues, hard blues sounds there. Um, Adrian's got a uh, good husky voice, perfect for this style of music. Um, he got to do a B side in his Iron Maiden years for Wasted Years, a song he actually wrote. And the B side was a song by one of his ASAP bandmates and Urchin bandmates called Reach Out. And he sings lead vocals on it. And it was definitely different than most of what you would hear from Iron Maiden. So they do that tour. They do Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. After that tour, like I said, is when this comes out. So, what does this sound like? To me, after listening to the Urchin albums again, I think it's a continuation. It's basically what these guys were doing in Urchin, and they've progressed and they matured. These early Urchin albums, these were done in like late 70s, early 80s. Uh, well, probably late 70s, 1980, before Adrian Smith joined um, Iron Maiden before before Killers. Um, so it basically is the band matured and progressed. This features a little bit more keyboards. So um, so you have Adrian on lead guitars and lead vocals. You have Andy Barnett also on lead vocals or lead guitars and different slide and rhythm guitars. Dave Colwell on guitars and keys and yeah, guitars mostly. Robin Latham on bass. Um, Richard Young on keys. Um, and this fella named Zach Starkey, Ringo's Ringo Starr's son. He would go on to play in the Who after a while as well. They wanted to get Nico from Maiden, but he was not available to do the album at the time. About a year or so after this would come out, Adrian would then leave Maiden and would kind of get out of the music business for a little while. He eventually came back in a band called the Untouchables, which would lead into Psycho Motel. He then would join Bruce Dickinson's solo band, and then eventually they would wind up back in Maiden. Adrian would also do another one-off called Primal Rock something that's escaping me at the moment. I didn't really care for that album though, and I haven't actually heard the Psycho Motel or the Untouchables stuff. The Psycho Motel album, they do have two albums out, and I would like to actually hear them someday. But Yeah, the Primal Rock one, I didn't really care for that. That was kind of odd. There was something strange about that one. That was like a collaboration album, and and again, the people he did it with escapes me. But and then he did an album. He just did an album recently with Richie Kotzen, Smith Kotzen, which I've only listened to maybe about once, and I really need to listen to that one a little bit more. I just haven't quite really dug into that one too deeply. But this album, however, does not get a lot of love. I've read reviews, I've heard people trash it, and I've not really read a lot of good things about this album, and it's kind of unfortunate. Um, I again, basing it from what Adrian did on Reach Out, I just thought it was just a natural progression for him, and I thought it was perfect. And then again, from the Urchin material, I just thought, great. It's basically what he was doing in Urchin. It's just old, 10 years older. Um, so you got songs like The Lion on this. That's the kickoff track, basically kind of talking about, I don't know, the idea is um, a well-known person in a community, kind of a ruffian kind of a thing, and kind of an outlaw. And he talks about him getting killed or dying on the road that night. Silver and Gold kind of reminds me of kind of a wayward in the heart of the city and the darkest parts of the city, and just trying to survive and get through the day. Silver and Gold was one of the singles. There's a video for it. Again, it's a little on the naughty side. It's got female nudity in there, but it's still a very strong song, regardless. Down the Wire, kind of a lost love kind of song. That was the second single planned for it. Good straight ahead rocker. You Could Be a King. I thought was another good song, good up tempo rocker. After the Storm is the end to side A, or track 5. Again, kind of a proggy, little bit of an epic-y kind of feel to it. Good driving song. There's some good driving beats to the song. Misunderstood kicks off the second side of the album. Another good straight ahead rocker. Kid Gone Astray, also another straight ahead rocker. Fallen Heroes, nice mid tempo song. Wishing Your Life Away, again, also a mid tempo rocker. And the song of the album concludes with Blood on the Ocean, kind of a little bit of an epic song, about 6 minutes long. It's got some mid tempo changes and different things like that. But again, it's not from Iron Maiden fans. If you're looking for Adrian to be doing an Iron Maiden album for a solo album, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But if you're going to go into it with a completely open mind and you're good and listen to it just listening to it just to see what you think, and you approach it openly, I think you might actually find this to be a really good album. Yes, it's got a lot of keyboards. My friend Mike thinks it sounded like Bob Seger. His voice, Adrian's voice, also kind of reminds me a little bit, maybe not so much Bob Seger, maybe a little more Bryan Adams, maybe in that kind of line. But it's still a very good, strong album. It's got some good guitar work, maybe not the twin lead things that you would expect out of Iron Maiden, a little bits here and there, but for the most part, there's some really good guitar work in this song on this album. I think the production sounds good. I think it's a good mix. It's definitely something you hear in the late 80s into the 90s. So I personally, I think this was a good album. Let me know what you think in the comments. Debate me. Tell me why I'm nuts for liking this album for the last 30 plus years. Because I have. I remember getting this and I fell in love with it back then. So let me know what you think in the comments, if what you thought of this album. and keep the discussion going, as they say. So my name is John, coming to you from my little music corner of the world. I hope you have a great day. Rock on. We'll see you soon.